Hi, I'm Mark Reinert from the Male Healthy Touch Club and the founder of the Men's Massage Exchange. And I'm talking today with my friend Adam Brown from Heart-Centered Touch about his upcoming workshop, Heart-Centered Touch as a Path for Personal Transformation. Adam, can you tell us a little bit about this workshop and how men can benefit from taking part?
Well, Mark, what I hope each participant gets out of this workshop are these things. One, an awareness that all thoughts, feelings, and beliefs live in our bodies. And we can bring about changes we want by bringing an embodied awareness and a willingness to change in order to move through obstacles. So what we do is we identify challenges or a challenge that we may be having, and then we use touch to help all of the participants move through their particular stated challenge. And this is not always shared in the entire group, but it's shared in a pair or a threesome so that you don't have to keep repeating yourself, but basically using touch in order to help people move through obstacles.
So in this process of using touch to move through obstacles that we're experiencing, one of the things I know is that touch is multi-layered and it affects us in so many different ways. And can you say a little more about how touch gives us access to the parts of ourselves that can often remain hidden?
Yes. I think in my experience, when you use touch in combination with communication or authentic communication about yourself, you then get permission to ask for the help that you desire from the participants in the group. And by asking for help in an authentic way and an embodied way, you have the opportunity to get support, courage, and nurturing in the process. And touch is so direct. We crave it. We long for it. We can't really be tricked by our bodies as easily as we can by our minds, because we feel stuff physically. And the exercises I've designed are designed to bring a body-felt sense or a higher awareness to the surface so that we can work with our challenges and our limiting beliefs openly and in a safe environment. And all this is done in a supervised, what I call feedback loop, and supervised by me, so that I can monitor the communication and help people through each step, because people may not be used to doing that. So in exploring touch this way with fellow participants, we all have the feeling we're in the same boat. We all have challenges, we all have life events, we all have obstacles, and we all want each other to succeed and feel better.
Yeah, and so can you give a couple examples of some of the challenges that a man attending your workshop might want to explore in this safe environment?
Well, what comes up a lot recently, and it may have to do with the age group, is that a lot of men who don't have children of their own, or even if they do, they're dealing with parents who are getting older. And that's a huge challenge for anybody. But a lot of men are isolated in that they have to do a lot, and they have to perform tasks, and they have no place to really unburden themselves about how they feel about it and how it's impacting their lives. So one challenge, in fact, I had myself, was dealing with my ailing mother and all of the emotions that came with that. And so I would use myself as an example in the group so people would feel like, oh, well, he's not just a teacher, he's also a person who's dealing with some of the same challenges I am. So then people get to identify where they feel that in their body, so that once they identify a challenge and identify a place they feel it, they can get help in kind of lightening their burden a little bit with the group.
Yeah, that's a wonderful example. I think there are so many ways, I know from my own work as well, that going below the neck and into what we're feeling in our body has so much wisdom to offer. And so I think it would be helpful just to say a little more about your upcoming workshop and how the guys who attend can really explore and go deeper into seeing the power of touch in ways that they can do in your workshop but not at home.
So I would say that in exploring touch with fellow participants in this way, we use these exercises that guide us step by step through simple processes. And the sharing of touch and your response to that is then expressed in an open forum facilitated by me. So this is very difficult to do at home, especially if you're, connecting with somebody for a touch exchange or massage exchange, and you want to give each other a good experience, but you don't quite know how to communicate all the nuances that you'd like to. In a workshop like this, you get practice in communicating what you're feeling, what your needs are, what your boundaries are, and how you can both proceed in a way that feels healthy and nurturing and nourishing for both of you. And in the process, during the workshop, since the core of the workshop is massage exchange and touch exchange, everyone will learn solid skills, massage, touch, and communication skills that they practice in the workshop, so they have a real visceral feeling and understanding of what that's like.
So an important part of what I'm hearing you talking about is how touch heals, and this is something that's said a lot, touch is healing, but I'm hearing you talking about how really learning to more intentionally use touch for a healing purpose, and but it's not always that simple. Can you say a little more about how touch heals and how we can be more intentional with it?
Sure. I know that touch heals when we put our clear intention to it, to do so. So we all may have had different experiences with touch. You may have had bad experiences with touch in the past. But under my guidance, you have the opportunity to rewrite some of those negative self-images and experiences. And you get to actually create a more healthy template to rewrite those old scripts that don't work for you anymore, so that you come out not only learning skills, but growing into a place of more assertiveness in communicating who you are, what you need, and what you want. So I think healing and pleasure are perhaps in our culture not often linked, but in, for example, ancient Tantra practice, pleasure is a viable path to higher consciousness and to healing. So by using this model, we can explore how pleasure and touch can be a healing force in our lives, not just a fleeting, momentary thing that comes and goes, but it can be a lasting thing that, when explored in the safety of a group like this, builds trust, builds courage, and builds compassion, really, as a supportive force and a positive force in our lives.
Yeah, and I think all of those are really important points, and one that just sort of jumped out at me was this idea of this safe space that can help us strengthen our courage and a place to practice that, because this work with touch and using touch for healing, especially, if it's about me as opposed to my helping someone else, can take some courage. And part of what I'm hearing here is that the mind may say that, it's scary to go to a workshop like that, but really the reality, I think, is doing it in a group setting can help strengthen your courage. Is that resonant with you, Adam?
It does, because if since I create a space that's open, sharing, authentic, and safe, people have permission to share a part of themselves that they may be reticent to do in a one-on-one, social setting or personal setting. So I often use myself as an example to start people off, because I've had the experience of touch as being healing in my life, and also being naked with men in a room, all working toward supporting each other's highest good. That's helped me tremendously. So when you find yourself in a room where everyone sets the intention for everyone's highest good, and it's a safe space, then people automatically respond by wanting to be as authentic as they can. So in this space, you're not told that you have to stretch yourself beyond your limits or, a little past what you're used to doing, but people end up doing it because everyone's doing it. And so we're all there to give each other a gift, really, of healing. And when touch can be seen more as a gift than as something that's put in a box just, for the bedroom or for a certain place, then the gift in our lives becomes bigger, and that comes by developing courage, compassion, and caring.
For those of our listeners who don't know Adam, he has been working with men in New York City since the mid-2000s, about a decade, perhaps longer, through body work, acupuncture, teaching Taoist and tantric practices. And Adam has also run workshops and retreats for men all over the country. So Adam, I'm curious, I know that there are many of our listeners who have experienced or heard about group massage exchange sessions that go up to about 3 hours long. And, we've been talking about how your workshop is different, even though you do use massage as a means to these more transformative purposes. But can you just give us a little more insight into how this workshop is different? It's a little longer, and the benefits are different. So could you just clarify that a little for some who may be wondering a little more about the workshop and how it's different from the massage exchange groups they may have heard of or participated in?
Sure. So the longer workshop is much more structured than a massage exchange group. Not only do you learn simple, easy-to-apply skills, but you get to practice them right away. And you get to practice them in a way that's slow and focused, and you get to ask questions, and you get to repeat things. And I often go around and help people with their body mechanics and with their breathing and with being in a safe, boundary environment, but also being able to maintain a strong connection with the person they're working with. So there's plenty of time for processing things that come up, and that often does not happen in a massage exchange or group massage exchange situation. So we do an exercise or a group of small exercises, and then we'll take some time to share about how that went and how people were impacted, and if people had questions, and if people could offer insights to other people that had similar experiences or different experiences. So not only are you learning how to touch, how to maintain a connection with somebody, but also how to communicate better and more authentically when you're with somebody in an intimate situation like this. So it does take 4 or 5 hours to foster that bond and that trust. And in a shorter massage exchange or a group massage exchange, it's often focused on the touch itself and not each participant's story or process. So the workshop gives you kind of a kernel of every individual has a story, every individual has challenges. How can we work on one or two of those as in a group setting where everybody comes out feeling that they've they've gained something and gained some insights, especially into their lives. And always what I do at the end of a workshop is have people set an intention going forward, and how they can put what they've learned in the 4 or 5 hours into a practical action in the future.
Mm-hmm.
And we all witness that, and we all affirm that, and we all support each other in doing so.
Thanks, Adam. So as we draw to a close here, can you share some final words for a guy who may be uncertain about attending or have some fears, and just review some of what he could expect to gain from taking part?
Sure. Well, I'd say it's a workshop like this is really the safest place I can think of to stretch yourself a little bit and try something new and explore and experiment with authentic communication, for both verbally and through touch. And all you really need to bring is willingness to be present. And the way I design the exercises is to help each person just move through the process step by step, so you don't have to figure it all out yourself. That's why I do these things, because of my experience and because I've seen how it works. People want to be helping each other. They want to change, but they may not know how to. So this gives the group participants a template as to how to bring about some changes in their lives that they'd like to bring about. So, and it's also fun, it's relaxing, it's not all serious, and it feels good. Touch can be sensual, it can be erotic, it can be playful, and it can be also very quiet. So you get, as a participant, the experience of the touch of different people in the room, my touch, and instruction on how to improve your own touch skills. So I think for anybody who would like to try something like this, but have never done so or are a little hesitant to do so, all of the feedback I've been getting from these groups is it ends up being a very joyful, positive experience for them. Mm-hmm. And they come out learning something, growing a little bit in themselves, and helping other people. So what more could be better than that, than helping yourself and others in the process?
Mm. Well, as you can see, Adam is an experienced workshop leader, and this is a very carefully designed workshop to give specific benefits that are not available to you from the average massage group exchange. So if you'd like to experience not only the pleasure of touch, but to learn and practice ways to use it for healing and transformation, then this is an opportunity just for you. One thing that I know about Adam's workshops is that they often fill up well in advance, so click the Register Here link below and pay for your spot right now. I'd hate for you to miss out, so take care of your registration now while you still have a chance. I'm Mark Reinert, and I look forward to talking with you again soon.